As far as the Herrera family were concerned, Bali was everything and more they could ever want from a vacation. The beautiful beaches and lush tropical atmosphere had provided day after day of family fun for their two children, and days of relaxation in the sun did wonders for both parents. The nights were likewise fantastic. The family's vacation residence was a stilt house some 200 feet from where the waves crashed on the beach. The stilt house was suspended some 5 feet above the gently lapping waves, and the only connection it held to dry land was a narrow bridge. This moment of privacy put the Herreras far out of reach of any disturbances that could come from the rest of the resort, and this couldn't have been more welcome. On this particular night, Maria and her husband George were lounging in the beach chairs, watching the last sliver of sunlight slipping beneath the ocean horizon. In the fading light of the good days past, it became all the easier to witness the glowing traces of bioluminescence along the surface of the waves. These trails of fluorescent plankton betrayed the presence of otherwise unseen fish making their way through the dark waters, unbothered by the watching humans above. Some trails were larger than others. Maria saw more than one trail that undoubtedly belonged to sharks of some kind, their sleek forms patrolling the shallow water for easy prey. Feeling George's hand slide into her own, Maria smiled as she looked further out to sea. Then something caught her eye. Maybe 50 feet away from the stilt house's deck laid another patch of glowing seawater. It was lapping against something on the sea's surface, a dark object that was too stationary to be driftwood. The object didn't match the location of any rocks Maria had seen in the past week of family vacation, and there was something about it that sent quiet shivers down her spine. As Maria reached for her cell phone to try and shine a light on the thing, a sound reached her ears. It was the sound of her youngest child laughing at something. Laughing and splashing? He couldn't have been splashing. The edge of the deck was 5 feet above the ocean's surface. George was already on his feet, and the two parents rushed around the stilt house's deck to see what their son was laughing at. He was still laughing when they found him, lying on his stomach with his head and arms dangling over the edge of the deck. The splashing was loud, too loud to be accidental. Maria looked over the railing her son had crawled under, looked down into the dark waters below. There was something there, but the only light that touched it was the luminescent plankton lapping against it. Maria made out 2 pinpricks of light where the thing's eyes were, and it lunged upwards. The thing climbed the stilts in less than a second, reaching for the child on the floor just as his father pulled him back. Maria's eyes grew wide as a webbed hand dug into the decking, long dark claws splintering the wood beneath him as another hand swung over the top of the railing. She looked and saw slick, hairless skin reflecting the vacation home's lights. Its eyes were small and almost cruel-looking, and its lips were curled upwards to reveal finger-length fangs. George hollered and raised his arms, putting himself between his family and this unknown abomination from the sea. The thing paused in consideration, then raised its arms high and shrieked. Maria shrieked too as the thing pounced on her husband, slashing and biting as he did his best to fend it off. Somewhere along the way, one of the struggling combatants slammed into the railing and damaged it quite heavily. There were more shrieks coming from the sea now, and Maria felt her daughter pulling her away as another beast pulled itself onto the deck. George was unrecognizable when the taloned hands abruptly tugged him into the sea, and now the sounds of splashing replaced the shrieks. Maria ran, knowing that if she or their children were caught, her husband's sacrifice would stand for nothing. She could hear the monster splashing and screaming below as she and her son and daughter sprinted the 60 meters to shore. The narrow walkway was slick with evening condensation, but all 3 runners managed to keep their footing. They ran until the sea was out of sight. The authorities claimed they didn't believe Maria, but they did offer compensation for what they called a freak dolphin accident. She didn't care. She had to live without George. And though their family never strayed near the sea again, Maria couldn't shake the occasional nightmares of black-clawed hands reaching for her, striving to drag her down into the hungering deeps for one final reunion with her husband. Welcome to the Snicker Snack Podcast. My name is Caleb. I am joined, as always, with my co-host, Cal.
Hello, I'm here. It's Cal.
It's Cal. We're
doing another one.
We're doing another one. Another one.
One of the ones of all time, I dare say.
There are several.
Several.
No, well, we're not doing that again, but...
No.
Just to get into it, we are doing mermaids. Yes.
Merfolk.
Yes. If you haven't heard from, or could just figure it out from the story that happened.
It happened.
Prior to this. That hasn't been written yet, so, you know.
Always written in post because we like to do them post speculations.
We like to do them right before we have to post them, which is... Oh, we should probably bring that up. Yeah.
We apologize.
We apologize for not putting out. Yeah, you know, crazy thing about life is that it happens. And it finds a way. However, just like the episode, it too found a way. Mm-hmm. And so we are back.
Again.
Guess who's back?
We are back. Tell a friend. You know, go tell your friends about the Snicker Snack Podcast.
Go tell your dog about the Snicker Snack Podcast. He probably won't understand, but he'll appreciate you anyways. Go pet your dog. Right now, go pet your dog. I swear.
He deserves it.
Fight you. Okay, instead of insulting our listeners, let's...
Mermaids.
Mermaids.
A reading.
I have the Big Book of Monsters, and I shall do a reading of the Big Book of Monsters as I am trying to make a commonplace.
Do it.
Mermaids, or sea maidens, being half fish and half woman, have permeated the folklore of the ocean since ancient times, described as beautiful enchantresses, destructive and seductive as the ocean itself. The mermaid also personifies the dangers of rocky coastlines and treacherous waters. Yes, that's all I'm going to read from that, because the rest of it's a really long...
It goes on to be a page and a half long.
Which I'd hope so, because it's kind of a big one.
They're a staple.
We're diving head deep. So, let's get into mermaids. Mermaids.
I mean, don't go too far into them, Caleb. I don't know. I'm not sure if I trust them.
They might be manatees.
They might. Yeah, I mean, I guess if we want to talk historical, methinks
the actual
a lot of the sightings of mermaids were, how do we say, drunken sailors looking out and seeing a manatee floating halfway out of the water and being like, wow, that almost looks like a person because it's got a head and two little legs.
Okay, so I want to be honest.
Yeah?
I was a sailor, okay? I can see the appeal.
Oh no. A long time away from shore.
Hear me out. Yes, a long time away from shore. You're lonely, you're bored, you work constantly, okay? You see, you know, you're like, man, it's just a nice lady. I miss women.
Don't dive in after the manatees.
Don't tell me how to live my life, Cal.
Listen, they're sweet. They're not going to bite you.
No.
They're manatees. They just go about on their way.
Good lads.
Yeah. Now, dugongs.
We don't talk about dugongs.
I like dugongs. I prefer dugongs.
Really?
They're cooler.
Dude, there's very little difference between the two.
All right,
except
ready?
For the name.
We went over this. Manatee has the circular paddle tail.
Yeah.
Dugong has the whale fluke.
Yeah. That's the only difference.
Pretty much, unfortunately.
Don't.
I think there are some regional differences.
Manatee. The cooler manatee. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Daniel,
okay.
The cooler Daniel.
Not talking about manatees. We're talking about mermaids.
Right.
Which were manatees, probably. But regardless, we're also probably going to discuss sirens.
Because they do have those tendencies luring sailors towards rocky coastlines.
At some point, the two myths kind of converged into one.
Yeah.
Much like the basilisk and the cockatrice.
Don't you dare.
They're the same thing.
You know what? That episode has inflicted me with post-traumatic stress disorder. I don't want to talk about it.
But mermaids actually are very common all over the world, really.
A lot of cultures have them.
And if they don't have them, they end up with them because information and spread and colonialism and all that stuff.
Yep.
That leads to the merging and mixture of different cultures.
All fantasies.
True.
All of them.
However, the West and the East both have mermaids,
mm-hmm.
right? There are, it is said in Japan, if I'm remembering this correctly,
that if you were to eat the flesh of a mermaid, you will be granted immortality.
Yeah. And those Japanese mermaids are wild. I've seen a picture of one that's just a snake's body, woman's face.
I know snakes get you all hot and bothered, Cal, but come on, man,
I wouldn't go that far.
That is not very compelling.
I really like snakes.
I know
Not
you
like
do.
That.
Yeah,
Not
but
like that.
it's got a woman's face.
It's got a snake body.
What if it just whispers things to you like, "Hey there, handsome. How you doing?
Oh, no.
Hey, how you doing? It's me, mermaid."
What? Am I going to be seduced by a...
"Hey, how you doing? It's me, Tony the mermaid. Dr. Girlfriend."
No, that is horrifying.
But
I think I am immune to that siren song.
it's just my world or my way.
Oh, Frank Sinatra's a mermaid.
I don't want this anymore.
I do want this. I think that's really funny.
I
Think of all the middle-aged women who will fall for it.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. Either way.
That was a tangent, and it was a good one.
I like it.
Could you try again?
Siri?
Get out of here! You're not talking to you. I'm talking to mermaids.
She wants in.
No.
Guest star.
Okay, so mermaid. Siri, shut up. Eastern mermaids, immortality.
Yep.
Is a thing. They actually don't differ a whole lot appearance-wise compared to their Western counterparts. Mm-hmm. So we don't really have to say a whole lot about that. Western mermaids can be mixed up with sirens. Sirens and mermaids tend to converge together into one thing, like Starbucks, which is a siren.
Yeah, it's the siren with the two tails over its head.
Yeah, it looks like legs though, and that
it does.
makes me uncomfortable. Why does it have two tails?
You tell me. Yeah. Ask the Greeks.
Greeks? No, ask Starbucks.
Well, no, it's actually a fairly common representation in art for them to have the like overarching tails.
Mm.
What
do you mean by like are you talking like two legs that are just tails? Or?
Yeah, it's almost like
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Like a Dumbo octopus with its tentacles up, but instead of tentacles, they're just tail. I don't know. Like, if you look at medieval artwork of regular animals, you get some wild results.
That's true, but that's because they're going off of descriptions from people that aren't, not very descriptive.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so I'm going to have to show you some of Fiore's animals from his book because they're hilarious. I will post pictures in the video. However,
editing Caleb, our savior.
He's a different person than I. Not physically, but emotionally, because he's gonna have to edit this video tomorrow. However, yeah, it's like a lion, right? But it just looks like a dog.
Yeah,
it's holding a heart. Yeah,
he's got a heart.
He's got a heart in his hand.
Wow,
he's holding it with his hand. But yeah, it's or like a lynx, which also looks kind of like a dog. Everything looks like a dog.
It's because they saw a lot of dogs and probably didn't see a lot of lions.
Fiore's elephants. Oh, they're so funny. All right, off topic.
Yeah, way off topic.
Mermaids. So, that's roughly the idea.
It's like the history.
Classics. Japan, China, which is kind of the same back in the day, same culture, because they took a lot of stuff from China, their language, a lot of different things of that nature. However, and they also took their desire for immortality, which
they were all about.
They really were. There were so many different. I mean, if you look into the legend of Sun Wukong, there's a lot of different stories about about immortality in their mythology.
Hell, even like Chinese dragons, Asian dragons, lungs, if you want to call them that.
Right.
They're very. I mean, they're already much more altruistic than your Western dragons.
Or more intelligent, too.
Yeah, yeah. But the dragon's pearl, if you get it, you can either grant a wish, get immortality, never have to drink water again.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Right, yeah. So there's a lot of that. And there's, like... We'll talk more about dragons once we get to the dragon episode.
Boy.
I say episode like it's not going to be a series. But, dragons. No, mermaids.
Seagulls.
Seagulls.
No, ghouls.
Western, I don't know if they grant any immortal, or like not immortal, but like different effects. If like they, because you got that terrible. Well, I say terrible. It was pretty good. The Pirates of the Caribbean movie where they
on Stranger Tides.
On Stranger Tides, where they got to get a mermaid's tear for the Fountain of Youth and all that, and it's fun. I don't know if mermaid tears have anything to do with anything. However,
they did in that movie.
Within the idea is that they don't have human or mortal souls, right? And so they desire mortal souls. Which is why
one, they have to make a human fall in love with them.
Right. And so that's where the idea of the song comes in. Now that applies to sirens more than mermaids, but they tend to, again, coincide. At some point, they just became the same thing. Mm-hmm. So, because in the original story of
which one?
Odysseus.
Yeah.
The sirens are described as almost bird-like beings, right? They don't actually have those mermaid traits that we know of.
Yeah, it's the body of a large bird, almost like a harpy.
Yep.
But then just the face of a woman, because I believe harpies have more feminine elements to their torso, and they just have wings.
I think I will have to do a bit of research. It's going to lead me down some dark paths.
Yeah, those. Bring a lantern.
I am going to jump headfirst into those dark paths.
Oh no.
However, where were we again? Sorry, I got distracted.
We're talking about mermaids and media. This is our new segment.
Oh yeah.
Our new segment, because you brought up Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well,
and so
Pirates of the Caribbean mermaids. I actually really enjoyed how they attacked.
I like them. They're like piranhas.
It was a really good means. I also like how it was light that like brought them to the surface or whatnot. It was really cool.
Because that's a very deep sea fish kind of behavior.
Yeah,
is the nocturnal migration of moving up through the water column as the sun goes down.
Right now. I'm thinking of movies with mermaids in them, right?
The Little Mermaid.
I was thinking of The Way of Water, which is a completely different animal.
That's a whole other beastie.
I'm like, oh no, I don't want to talk about that.
Not the Navi.
No, not that movie. The other Way of Water.
The Other Way of Water.
Is it The Way of Water?
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking of the movie where the chick falls in love with the merman. Like
what?
Shape of Water.
Oh no, that's just a fish man.
Yeah.
There it
is.
An example in Guillermo del Toro's, shall we say, affinity for fishmen.
Yeah, he kind of looks like the guy from Hellboy.
He eats her pet cat, which I don't know what she was thinking, letting them in the same room.
I mean, him and what's the other one, Alf?
Yeah, Alf. The eaters of cats.
I had a nickel for every time there was a character.
Oh, you'd have so many nickels. Not just two.
That's fair.
Not just two.
I could probably buy a cat.
Yeah?
And not eat it.
Yeah.
Great.
Don't eat cats.
All right, let's see. What else? We got the Little Mermaid, and Little Mermaid, I don't know. It's just a lady with a fishtail.
Yeah.
There's nothing going on that excites me except for red hair.
The only thing I'm concerned about in that movie is the mermaids who have starfish covering them, because starfish have mouths, and that's not a good place for a mouth to be.
I am not going to discuss that because I don't think that is very what's the word I'm looking for, PG-13?
Yeah.
As where I want to put this, or where I was going with that.
See, that's an interesting point coming from you, because we, since episode 1, have been working for PG-13, and then editor Caleb is he's singing his own song.
YouTube is a different animal.
He's singing his own song.
Okay, editor Caleb knows that YouTube is YouTube, and he can get away with far more.
Audio listeners love you to death. I'm doing one of these. Maybe watch our YouTube videos and discover what a different animal they are. Because boy, oh boy. I'm going to bring us back. Ready? Here we go. More mermaids and media. Oh,
do you have any more? Because
they don't
really. I mean, aside from the Little Mermaid, like, they're not very common in.
We could talk about the live action Little Mermaid.
We don't talk about the live action Little Mermaid.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really changes. It's you know what? I do have a point that I can bring out of this.
Okay,
it's still the Little Mermaid. Mermaids as and this is also moving us into speculation, a civilized race.
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It doesn't, because if we know why humans got smart, or one of the many theorized reasons as to why, it's because...
Cooking food.
Cooked food gives better, more nutrients, I think, maybe. Is that the science reason?
You're the science guy. More nutrients, sir?
More nutrient. I'm also the English major. That's... I don't know. I'm trying to...
forget about that. Oh.
Yeah. Let's do thinking here. I mean, yeah, maybe they're able to get advanced enough to make spears. Maybe. But then, I don't know. I feel like just as if they were trying to have a culture.
Well, again, remember, how did we describe it? Once upon a time, animals only get as smart as they really need to be.
Exactly.
Right. Now, we are tool users.
Yeah.
However, the reason why we're above things like, other tool users,
bears, chimps, Battlestar Galactica,
is because we had better nutrients, and then we learned how to do things.
Not just that, fire.
And fire.
I would argue that without fire, humans would still be running away from big bears.
Yeah.
I mean, to a point, because a lot of humans, a lot of spears, big bear dies.
What if fire is the reason why? So, because in the animal kingdom, it's a lot of moving around and basically living day to day.
Depending on the animal, but yeah.
But once we have...
crocodiles don't need to move.
Yeah.
They find a spot and they sit there.
But having fire is what allowed us to kind of settle and start doing more tool related things. We spec completely into endurance and tool use.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's our whole shtick. It's endurance, tool use, and
collaboration.
We're social animals.
Yeah.
So, what if you don't have access to fire?
This has reawakened a core memory.
Uh-oh.
So, back in the day, I think the 2010s, like 2011-ish.
Wow, such a long time. Oh, God, that
it is a long time ago
10
now.
years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that. Why am I old?
National Geographic released a bunch of weird mock documentaries of pretending that fantasy creatures were alive.
That's awesome.
They did one on dragons, and I both love and hate it. And then they did one on mermaids.
Huh.
And I just remembered it. A mermaid gets eaten by Megalodon.
That's fun.
That's something. And it's making me think, because they don't use fire, because they can't, obviously.
Right.
They do use spears, and they just kind of go around their swimmy days. And I wonder how plausible that is for a species that... Oh, they would also have a difficult time communicating. Because they would have to use probably sonar or hand signal. I'm trying to remember how
I assume they use something similar to whale song. Language can develop in many different ways.
It's true.
So if you, I think that has less to do with the ability to communicate and more of the intelligence to come up with language.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not worried about that, because they could speak in whale song.
Yeah.
Now they wouldn't be, singing under the sea, but. In
a terrible Jamaican accent.
The best Jamaican accent. You put respect on the name of Jacques.
Jacques?
Is it Jacques? No,
it's Sebastian.
You're right.
Yeah, you talk to me about respect.
Wait, who the heck's Jacques?
I don't know.
I'm sure everyone can come to the conclusion that I'm terrible at names.
Yeah.
Right.
You talked to me about respect, and then you missed.
I
was completely.
Throwing shade. Who the heck is Jacques?
I was throwing shade at the live action Little Mermaid movie.
Wait. Did they do a Jamaican accent?
They tried to, and it's bad.
Is this kind of like when they got Will Smith to sing the Friend Like Me?
I don't like the Will Smith genie.
It makes me
keep my wife's name. That's all we're gonna do with that. Let's see. Speculation, I guess.
Who the hell's Jacques?
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to have a fucking aneurysm.
Yep. Okay, so
back to speculative biology.
Mermaids,
tool users. Maybe.
Maybe yes, maybe no.
How the heck are they going to make a spear?
Out of coral or something? Be cool if...
No, I meant the haft.
Yeah.
Bone, driftwood, but then it just floats.
Yeah. And also, are they breathing air or breathing water?
Well, that depends.
I feel like the biggest obstacle to mermaids would be gang wars with dolphins.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Is that there's a rivalry between mermaids and dolphins.
I feel like dolphins win.
Probably.
Spears or no spears? Because dolphins have the power of... Well, I can't say that for PG-13.
Dolphins are horrible, and we at Snicker Snack do not like dolphins. Matter of fact, we kind of hate them.
How do I say this? Dolphins have the power of grape juice without the G or the juice.
Well, maybe the juice. Definitely the juice.
Oh, I don't want the dolphin juice.
They are fans of unconsensual two to tango.
Dolphining dolphins.
Go read Wet Goddess.
8 people a year, ladies and gentlemen.
8 people a year.
Suffer the wrath of dolphins and not...
Completely unrelated. Go read Wet Goddess.
Don't read Wet Goddess.
There's a great book called Wet Goddess.
Don't do it.
It describes a man. It's an autobiography of a man that had relations with a dolphin.
Why?
I highly recommend it.
Caleb.
Great book. It should be a reading. It should be on every reading list across the country. It should be required.
You're breaking it.
You're
breaking the kayak.
Bear, stop!
Okay, I'm so glad that you got that. I'm so glad.
I haven't thought of that in years.
All right.
Okay, so
it's plastic.
It doesn't taste good. So dumb.
Oh, it makes me so happy.
This is why we record at 1 a.m.
Yep.
The real question comes down to, is it a mammal or is it not a mammal? Is it a fish?
I think that both could be viable.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how viable they would be as a group animal. Because, I don't know. There's a lot of directions we could go. Because there's the lure of a song, or I think a visual would probably be more compelling. They can't be humans, because humans are really good at using fire, and there would be no evolutionary pressure for humans to go and start swimming a lot and then stop going on land.
Well, I mean, actually, there is I say actually, but there are many tribes in like Pacific Islands.
You're talking about the really like wide feet, good for kicking, like pearl divers?
Yeah, not just that, but also size of their livers have grown. Their lung capacity is nutty. Their hands and feet have gotten more, wider for the purposes of swimming. Paddling. This is basically evolution in motion, basically.
Yeah.
Where it's
okay, so maybe I'm an idiot and I'll retract that claim. However, gills.
That depends. Are these gilled creatures, or are these like other, ocean mammals?
I don't know.
Because on one hand, they spend a lot of time close to the surface, so I imagine they're not deep sea creatures.
Well, surface or like rocky coastlines are pretty prevalent.
Right.
But then would they not want to just keep their legs?
Well,
because if they're clambering around,
tell that to river dolphins, or sea lions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, river dolphins don't climb around.
No, I'm just saying like they're close to shore.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they want to keep their legs? Well, they don't even have legs.
Yeah.
So they're even further down the tree. But a sea lion, no different.
A sea lion can hit a pretty good sprint.
Sure.
You've seen them.
Right, but on the other hand, again, it's not a land animal, right? Walrus spends a lot more time in the water than it does on land, probably.
That's true.
So the idea of it being a mammal, which is weird, because when I was going into this, I was thinking, it's not a mammal. It's probably something else.
I mean, I'm ready to do fish. Yeah. I'm also ready for some sort of weird mimic seal kind of situation.
Or, hear me out.
Yeah?
It's an amphibian.
Ooh! Frogman!
Frogman! That's the power.
Maybe we do that for Loveland Frog.
Ooh.
I mean, we would have to do that for Loveland Frog
Well,
because
it's in the name.
he's a big frog.
He's a lad.
Or Flatwoods monster.
The Flatwoods monster?
Yeah. People said it was a 10-foot tall alien.
Oh yeah.
I think. Oh well, no. I think it was Trey the Explainer that did it as a giant tree salamander.
Huh.
So maybe we can't do that.
Well, I mean, if we come to the same conclusion, we come to the same conclusion.
That's true.
That's part of science, not about,
True. All right, back to mermaids.
Content creation.
Well, there's a lot of directions we could take it, and I haven't predetermined one.
Right. Well, then let's go down all the avenues, right?
Absolutely.
If we go off of a fish avenue, then we're looking at something that has evolved to a point where it can mimic a human.
I don't think it needs to be that convincing of a mimic, nor do I think it needs to be vocal. Although it does
need to be vocal.
I mean, it could just make a screaming sound.
Yeah.
And people would think, "Oh shoot, I gotta go in here."
In the water.
Somebody dive in, and then it gets them. So like kind of an anglerfish situation.
True.
And that also gives it maybe limited land mobility. Because things like frogfish and your more... oh, wait. Come on, marine biology. Don't fail me now.
Lungfish.
Nope. It's... Oh, what's the name? Pelagic. Nope, that's the open ocean. Benthic organisms. Bottom dwellers, essentially. They
like
have
catfish?
They have better grippy, grabby fins. They walk around.
Oh, you mean like those? What? Not a stonefish, but the
frogfish.
Is that what it is? That they have the little legs and
they walk around.
I'll make sure that editor Caleb puts in a little gif of that guy running.
Yeah,
if I can find one.
But yeah, no. So that's definitely a possibility. The issue would be, the startup, because once the fish get to a point where they have a lure that makes. Oh, what about a lure that's hollow and they stick it above the surface and wind blows through it and sounds like a screaming child?
I imagine you've watched the SpongeBob movie.
I have.
Remember the ice cream stands?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm imagining, is that it's just...
Not to that scale, though.
It's just the ice cream man.
Like adhesive, too?
Oh, man. That'd be... fun.
Hello. Like waves back and forth.
You want to pet my kitty?
Wow.
No, maybe not. That's a completely different animal.
I mean, it won't be able to speak.
Yeah.
It can't be able to speak. And also, hindsight, quarter turn, back around we go. I feel like the human mermaid is maybe viable based on what you said about island tribes.
Honestly, I think...
But it takes a long time because they're present day and they're still not
but
in there.
The history of humanity is a lot shorter than the history of the world.
Absolutely.
So
you'd have to be shoving humans back.
Right. I'm not saying that an ancient form of humanity, like Sasquatch,
the Neanderthals.
Bring it back in, like Neanderthal.
Yeah. Theoretically, this is all within one setting. One setting, people.
Yeah. Theoretically, this is all our take on... Well, I mean, technically, all of the folklore.
Ooh, imagine when we have enough crazy, wacky, kooky cryptids done up to have, a family tree. And we're a tree of life, including our...
The human tree of life.
Ooh,
the tree of cousins?
This is the tree of cousins. It's getting into afterman territory.
Alabama. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. By, who is it? Dougal Dixon? I think so.
Oh.
The Q.
Oh, gosh.
Afterman.
That story...
Or no, Dougal Dixon is man after man.
No, I'm thinking, what is it? All
Tomorrows.
That's what I'm thinking of. That one made me so uncomfortable to listen to. It makes me so uncomfortable.
It's body horror.
Yeah. Body horror
is... The Colonials.
God. It just makes me... It's just... However...
God, this is an episode full of tangents.
What episode that we have isn't full of tangents?
You are right.
That's... half of what we do.
Yeah. It's our charm.
I'm honestly thinking that it'd be easier for something similar to human-like to go towards mermaid than it is for a fish to go more human.
What about a seal to go more human?
Oh.
Because amphibian, we run into the issue of salt water, which
Right.
amphibians in their permeable skin, they don't like salt water. To my knowledge, and I know a lot about reptiles and amphibians and fish,
Yeah.
unless there's a very niche example escaping me, there are no saltwater amphibians. Caleb's Googling. I'm standing by.
Amphibians.
I'm standing by. No true marine amphibians, you best believe. Yeah, unable to tolerate pure salt. So yeah, that's an obstacle. I think the frog mermaid is probably out.
I mean... Oh, yeah. No, because if they did, they would be reptiles.
Yeah, because they need that scaly skin.
Well, if they couldn't.
So I don't think... It can't be a marine reptile. We, here on the Snickersnack podcast, do not endorse lizard men.
Why not?
Because it's...
You say that. I love lizard men.
It's not viable. I mean, okay, lizard man of Skateboard Swamp, or any other associated bog men or swamp lizard dudes, they're fine. But we don't talk about the conspiracy lizard men.
Well, what's
because
wrong
it's stupid.
with them?
Lizards don't want to take over your government. They want to sit on a hot rock and eat lizards.
But if they
or
did,
crickets.
Wouldn't that be a reptile dysfunction?
I'm going to commit hate crimes against you. Hate crimes are going to be committed. If Caleb goes missing after this episode, you all know why. That joke. Oh. It's one of those. It's one of those
days.
It's one of those days. You don't want to wake up.
Everything sucks.
Yep.
All right. So,
not a lizard, not an amphibian. Fish is difficult.
Fish is in there.
Human, possible.
Human.
Mammal, possible. I'm going to go ahead and say probably not a bird or an invertebrate.
Yeah. And the problem with like modern takes on mermaids that you see is that they have gills.
Yeah.
Right? Which doesn't make sense physically.
Mm-hmm.
And those tend to be more fantasy creatures, right? Some creatures we just can't do speculative biology on, like Medusa, because it's its own kind of shtick, right?
It's its own vein. And you know what I'm thinking is one of these days, far in the future, obviously, because we have to do new stuff, we should go back to that petrification episode and do maybe like shorter episodes, maybe 3 30-minute episodes talking about those creatures individually. Because I feel like we didn't give them their fair chance.
Maybe.
Basilisk got too much love.
Well, it's because it's the same thing as the cockatrice. I'm standing by this for the rest of my life.
You can go ahead and stand by it. I don't have the energy to challenge it. Also, because I think I might lose, because sometimes they're called just cockatrice basilisk.
Yep. Either way.
Mermaids.
Get back on track. What the heck are you doing?
You telling me to get back on track.
Get back on track. I don't know. Ask Jacques.
Jacques, knock it off. Alright, from now on, if anything goes wrong, it's Jacques' fault.
It's Jacques' fault.
Alright. So, I don't know, anglerfish, we can look at that potentially.
But again, we got to go into, it's going to evolve a means to look more human.
Right.
Because we can't just throw out the historical sightings. Like, quote, historical sightings.
All right, do you know what an angler is? So when people think anglerfish, they think of the deep sea glowy ones.
The big boys. Yeah.
Right. But no, those aren't the big boys because they get about football size.
Anglerfish?
Yeah.
I've seen bigger ones.
If you've seen a big one, it's a football fish, which can maybe grow 3 feet in diameter, which is pretty big. Anglers are a benthic organism, thank you, Pascal, that live... As what I just said would, they live on seafloor, and they can grow up to 6 feet long, and they can swallow things that are 5 to 6 feet long. Searching benthic won't really help. It's nope, not that. That's a deep sea. Deep seas get all the love, but basically really big anglers. I don't know the Latin name. I wish I did.
They're real gross.
It's
I think I saw one. It was like laying down.
Yeah. They lay flat on the bottom. That's that's a coffin fish. Nope.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I'll do it in post.
I'll find a picture in post.
Okay.
But yeah, so really big angler, and they can live in relatively shallow water. All they need is a silty bottom because they can partially bury themselves.
Right.
Now, those are big enough to eat a child.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm picturing a coastal species of large angler, let's say like a few million years back, that evolved in tandem with primates. And a lot of primates that live near water take advantage of that. They swim. Proboscis monkeys swim. And we have, I don't know, there's a lot of swampy coastal monkeys. Western interior sea monkeys, I think, did a little bit of swimming, at least according to Walking with Beasts, the Basilosaurus episode. I really like that one. I'm doing nerd stuff again.
Dude, that's our entire podcast.
It is.
Just cook.
So I'm still cooking. Here we go. This is the Cal moment. If it involved in tandem, it's going to frequent those areas where there are monkeys falling in the water, and it's going to eat them.
As you do.
As you do. And now, provided these species evolve in tandem, the angler's going to get bigger to be able to capitalize on this steady food source, and it's going to need to be well hidden because it's dealing with very intelligent prey relative to eating other fish. And it's going to need a lure, because anglers do have lures. Even the big seafloor ones, I believe, still have a lure. And when I say seafloor, I'm going to clarify for the viewers who don't know their fish, this is not deep sea. This is, you can see the surface, you can dive down and poke one in the eye if you wanted to. I mean, maybe not
in the light layer before it gets too dark.
Sunlit zone, people.
Yeah,
Sunlit zone. Yeah, that's...
Problem is that, the lure is for monkey.
Yeah.
Not...
But as the monkeys progress, because I'm saying they evolve in tandem. And so as the monkeys become more ape-like, lure becomes more ape-like.
Well, it's not that we didn't just come from every single prehistoric monkey.
Damn it, you're right. Okay. Oh no, are we in Africa again? We might have to be in Africa again.
Are we always in Africa?
Nile River anglerfish.
Yeah, except they have to deal with Nile crocodiles.
That is...
Shoot. I think a Nile crocodile is a better predator than the Nile angler.
I would have to agree. The Nile angler would be really
and they have an even better camouflage. It's called log.
I mean, the log isn't even necessary. They just go under the surface.
Yeah.
We will talk about crocodiles.
I'm sure we will.
Oh, what if we had an episode dedicated to my favorite crocodile?
The big boy?
The biggest boy. Gustav. We
That's
like Gustav here.
Funny train.
Funny.
I think it's the name of a train in Thomas the Tank Engine.
Gustav the Train? I don't remember a Gustav. And I was a Thomas kid.
Dang.
Listen, I'm not going to give you too much credit because of
Jacques
the Crab, everyone. From a hit Disney movie.
No, I was thinking of the Gustav railway gun, not Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh, this is an episode.
Whoops, right. That's Gustav the railway gun. Yeah, no, okay, never mind.
Okay, so hear me out. Anglers, then we'll do this. Anglers breed pretty fast. They're a fish.
Okay.
Well, no, because they make giant egg floats, don't they?
I feel like
I'm going through the paces here.
Also, they would have to have the evolution necessary to create.
I mean, all I'm making here is an anglerfish that's good at eating people.
Right, but
it needs to look human.
The problem is that going with the deep sea angler, right?
Yeah.
What does it use to attract prey? Little bioluminescent little nub.
Yeah.
This is so beyond that, lure-wise.
I mean, this one just has a little dangly bit. It doesn't glow. It just looks like a worm.
That's worse.
Or in this case, a baby monkey. And then a baby
Are you telling
human.
me... Alright, so you're telling me that there's a fish out there with just a freaking Beanie Baby just strapped to its little windshield wiper that it whips around. That's what you're saying. You see my problem with that?
Well, okay. The fish is the lure. They float at the surface, and they look like a human silhouette, and they scream. You ever heard of the shrieking eels? Princess Bride?
Cal.
Yeah?
How many fish have vocal cords?
Oh, all right. I'm glad you brought that up. Fish can bark. Fish can make noises. They do it by expelling air.
Well, I guess there's
expel air from their swim bladder.
And then it bites the carrot or whatever.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the pufferfish. That's something totally different. Catfish can roar. I mean this fully unironically. They expel air from their swim bladder, and it sounds like a growl. So imagine, if you will, a fish with, I don't know, specially shaped gills that sounds like a human yelling for help, and they float at the surface, and they scream.
So,
and humans jump in, and they're like, "Yay, yo, I'm gonna save you," and then they get swallowed whole.
Okay.
Because Caleb, it always comes back to Vor. Every time.
On the other hand,
right?
Humans are really good at knowing when something's not quite right human-wise.
Uncanny Valley.
The Uncanny Valley effect.
Yeah.
I don't think that it would be very... What's the word I'm looking for?
Convincing?
Convincing at a visual level. That's why...
They only do it at night.
Right, but... Okay, we're talking about Nile... So we're
talking. No, I don't think we can do freshwater angler.
Okay, so
we're talking
saltwater. So we're talking a coastal village.
Yeah.
That some guy is just walking down at night,
and he hears his wife's voice calling out to him.
Are you telling me the angler has completely just
taken?
Yeah,
I'm spitballing.
You shut your mouth. We're in the speculative biology part. This is your domain, not mine.
I'm thinking.
Why am I the gatekeeper?
I'm thinking, though. It's difficult to do. See, I mean, okay, that's fish. We could talk seal.
I think, again...
Because I think no matter what it is...
go back to mammal, man.
If it's mimicking a human, it's to prey on that human.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Now, again, the problem is that... The thing about sailing... Right, is that it's an old tradition.
Yeah.
However, in the grand scheme of life, it's a pretty young tradition.
Oh yeah, humans are a fingernail in time.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not all that.
Well, ancient. Not even just time, but just life.
Yeah.
You know, even our existence, right? So it's for something to evolve to prey on sailors doesn't make a lot of sense.
I mean, not sailors, just coastal humans.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be sailors, specifically.
It could... I mean... Could also be...
Swimmers?
Just swimmers in general.
Duh.
What, just people going to the beach? They take a beach day, they go out in the balmy age of
30
pre-Jesus.
A 30-foot anglerfish bursts out of the sand of the beach and eats the party.
You've been playing too much Monster Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
I've been playing too much Monster Hunter.
Diablos anglerfish.
It's not... Okay.
Wait, you want to do a speculative nibble snarf?
We're not doing a nibble snarf.
I like nibble snarf.
He kind of looks like an angler.
He does.
I don't like this.
It's like, it's getting into Gobel territory.
Okay, no.
No, you did this. You brought up Monster Hunter.
No, we're leaving Monster Hunter right now. I'm closing the door.
Man.
We are walking down the street. We're getting our ice cream, okay?
All right.
So, I'm thinking seal. Or
I like seal.
Either seal or pre-human.
I'm not sure if I like pre-human.
You don't like the pre-human primate?
Well,
Because, again, remember, you could even take those swimming monkeys as an example. What if a monkey just kept doing more of that?
We're getting so sidetracked and we're 45 minutes in, but, Caleb, do you know sea wolves?
The only sea wolf I know is Whale Wolf, the greatest movie ever made.
Oh, Sharktopus versus Whale Wolf.
Sharktopus.
Not talking about it, no. But wolves in, I think, Alaska, coastal Alaska, are evolving webbed paws.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they're foraging in the sea for their food.
I think there's
they're swimming.
What's the name of that?
Across things to get food.
There is a Inuit story of it's a species of wolves that are crossed with like orcas. I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
It's like Akamite.
I don't know the name. Yeah.
Akamite or something. I can't remember the name because again, I'm bad with names, but it's something like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I see. This mermaids are really kind of
they're difficult. Okay, I think because we're getting short on time, let's think about a seal.
Okay.
Let's think about a seal.
I'm good at thinking about seals.
Oh shoot! Or if we do the monkey, it could be something that like runs out of the water, grabs someone from the village, and then runs back in. There is is it Mexican or South American? There's an otter creature that does something similar. It's got a hand on its tail.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
I think is that a Mexican creature? Yeah, that's.
I think it is. I don't remember its name. We'll do that one.
Central American
coming up.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, the next 2 episodes are going to be pretty fun. But we have to get through mermaids first.
Okay, so
seal.
I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm still kind of sold on the pre-humanity, like primate. Because imagine if a pygmy human.
Yeah.
Right. Spins.
Oh, so you're going Fiji mermaid?
I'm going. Well, I don't want to think about the Fiji mermaid, but
I mean that's a little. It had the torso of a monkey.
Yeah.
Fiji mermaid, well-known hoax, not real.
Sewed up, whatnot.
Don't worry about it.
Ripley's, believe it or not. But something similar to that, I feel like would make sense, except for the evolution of scales, which isn't. We're just going to toss that out entirely.
Yeah, we're ignoring scales. We can still have the sleek shape with the seal, which is the superior mermaid in this case.
I think that it would just be like a weird cross hybrid between a primate and a seal. Because I feel like the evolution of...
What about a primate with webbing? Not fused hind limbs, as a seal would have, but webbing between the tail and the hind legs.
Kind of like an otter.
No, because otters don't have webbing. And a monkey would need... No.
Oh, they just have a big tail.
Well, they have webbed hind legs.
Not tail, but I'm thinking of a beaver. Sorry.
Yeah. Beaver has tail, otters propel with their hind limbs.
Mm.
On the other hand, a seal, because I like the seal.
Cook.
Well, here's a question before I cook. Do we want this mermaid to... Why is it evolving to look like a human? Is it like hungry mimicry? Does it want to look like something familiar so that it will cause its prey that 1 second of hesitation that lets it get its meal? Or is it defensive? Like, don't spear me, I look like you.
Well, according to all the folklore, it would have to be predatory.
Yeah. So, I'm not sure about primates eating humans. The only ones I would not put it past are chimps and baboons. And we don't like that.
Well, what if it was less... What if the reason they look... Stop kicking my desk.
Kick.
You do it every time.
Think.
What if they look like us, not as a... It correlates, but not... It's not because they're going after us specifically,
right?
But because they just kind of look like us, like a
primate. A holdover from the primate ancestry.
Exactly, but their main means of drawing things in is through
their song,
right? Which could be similar to something like what we discussed in the petrification video with the Adara bird, where the song of it,
Ardana bird.
That's what I said, Ardana bird.
You said Ardara.
Ardana.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Maybe I didn't. Okay. Ardana bird is that it brings it in with song, but less sleep, more just kind of transfixed.
Well, then are we having to do the thing where how do we work siren song as a mechanic? I see it like this is a
Cats. Video game. We gotta go with the cat theory again. With the tigers.
The infrasound.
Infrasound sound can have an effect on them.
How about they scream?
Or what if they're like...
they scream mating sounds. They sound like a horny dolphin. And attract dolphins. What if they have claws?
What if they're just really good at vocal mimicry?
Maybe. Maybe marine birds. Maybe that's what this comes to. Because I said probably not a bird, but imagine
the vocal cords of like a mockingbird or
Well, it doesn't even need to be that, because birds have... is it a larynx? I think it's a larynx is the name of the organ. So maybe a big seabird. Well, no, because this is just a siren then.
Yeah, that's just a...
but that fits, though.
Yeah.
It's a big seabird. Can't fly.
Yeah.
Can't fly. It's got a real nasty mouth. It's got all the keratinous hooks inside. It could swallow something close to its size whole because it's a bird and they're uncomfortable.
Flying trash can.
Yeah. And then the back legs and tail are... It's got a really long torso. And, now think about Hesperornis, the extinct giant seabird that had a body length of 10 feet. So long and so heavy that it couldn't stand upright. It had to slither and push itself along. I may have cooked. I may have just cooked. The issue becomes how to make it look like a human. And I have an answer for that, too.
Uh-oh.
What about an owl face? The beak kind of folds down and maybe even folds underneath the feathers.
I mean, kind of like, well, you say that, but then I immediately think of a shoe bill.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like...
Well,
down.
the shoe bill, you see a lot of pictures of them from the front, so you don't really understand how long the snout is.
It's a big boy.
It's almost proportionally like an alligator snout.
Yeah.
I hate that I've come up with this in the last, 5 minutes.
Well, let's keep cooking. I'll cut some of the fat out.
Right.
In the editing. Maybe. I don't know. That's
maybe not.
Editor Caleb to figure out.
I mean, it's less...
We go over by 10 minutes, Just cook.
Yeah, still cooking. So bird is an option. In fact, an option that I quite like, because then we have mimicry, where, birds like lyrebirds listen to things in their environment, all the way down to a car door slamming or a police car or someone's alarm clock.
I've heard them make robot noises. It's great.
They make laser blast noises. It's fun stuff. So definitely a large, and I'm thinking really large, like maybe body length of 15 feet, seabird that just kind of chills in the water, floating with just its head up, because diving birds they're buoyant, but only their head and back. That's how you tell a diving duck from a
The only problem
duck.
that I have with this is that it's no longer a mermaid.
It is. What do you mean? It's totally a mermaid.
No, it's just not because if it's just a bird in the water, then it's not really like a mermaid, right? Like what we think of as a mermaid, right? The swimming in the tail and all that stuff. Right?
I mean, it still kind of swims like that mechanically. Imagine the hind limbs are pressed all the way to the back of the tail and kind of laced together.
However, it still goes on land, right? It's less of a water animal and more of a coastal animal.
It could be fully marine.
I mean, even the most marine birds still exist on land.
Just internal
penguins.
Well, yeah, but think about penguins. But hell, make its ancestor a penguin, like a.
Yes, the great Greek penguin.
I don't know.
No, I don't either.
Hey, but egg hatches internally and then live birth.
Oh.
And then you remove their need to go to shore for anything except for prey. Because they have no land mobility. They have to... Imagine the wings are almost less feather and now more muscle.
Huh.
I know a lot of...
With an owl face?
Yeah. Why not?
Be less, what's the word I'm looking for? Hydrodynamic.
Yeah, or aquadynamic. I mean, our only other real options are like a short-faced seal.
Yeah.
Or, which a short-faced seal still has to go on land occasionally.
Well, and that's not against the idea of mermaids, because they spend a lot of... They actually have a lot of... where they tend to show up in things tends to be very seal-like, where they end up on
rocks
and stuff. I could just imagine a bunch of seals sitting on a pier and some guy running get out of here, and they all fall off and swim out. But I like the bird theory, but that seems like its own spin take on a siren by itself, rather than the old school siren. Which I guess we can say as that would make sense as an old school siren. However, mermaid.
Mermaid.
Is mermaid, right? Like, it's got to be mermaid shaped at least.
I mean, this thing can still... That's why I gave it an owl face, is that it can have kind of a human silhouette looking at you out of the water.
It does not have the beluga tail with the knees.
Why not?
Wait, are you saying a fish evolves a beluga tail?
What do you mean a fish? It's a bird.
Or the bird evolves a beluga tail?
It's... How can I put this? Its hind limbs are fused together at the back and webbed. And they do this. I'm doing something with my hands. Yeah?
I don't know how I don't know how I feel about this.
You have to reach for it.
I'm really reaching. I feel like it's more of a reach than the monkey.
Yeah, well...
And also...
The webbing monkey?
Yeah. Or just literally a monkey that's gone full beluga.
Going full beluga takes a long time.
Not full beluga, but, fuse.
The issue with the monkey is that, well, whales evolved from animals that were very otter-shaped.
Yeah.
Long in body, short in leg. Which, there it's easy to, pelvis goes further back, legs get shorter. Monkeys are long in limb, short in body.
Right.
Going the exact opposite.
However, we're putting the same environmental pressures on a monkey that were put on those early, muscelids?
Not mustelids,
Or mustelids.
I don't think.
Whatever. Similar type, body type.
Very, yeah.
So, we're just putting those environmental pressures on a different type of animal. Now, I mean,
you would get a result.
But again, we're looking at
a
monkey creature that existed. We're thinking of a monkey that existed at the same time that those existed. And I don't think primates go back that far.
They do.
Do they?
I think so.
Again, this is just me voicing concerns because I don't know.
Yeah. I have a skewed take here because I have not done my research and my only source is the episode of Walking with Beasts that had Ambulocetus, which is an early coastal whale but still had legs, kind of like a crocodile, which is really fun. And there is also a monkey in that episode that gets hunted by like a bear dog or something.
Fun.
Yeah. Now, the Walking With series is kind of infamous for screwing things up. Like the infamous 82-foot-long Liopleurodon. No.
Oh.
Yeah. And also, some dates might be off, so take it with a grain of salt. But I believe they were around the same time. However, that is a head start because Ambulocetus is a little further down the whale evolutionary tree than, what's it called, like Protocetus?
Right.
I can't remember the ancestor.
And this is far before any of the genealogy that would lead to humanity.
Yeah, no apes yet, just monkeys.
So...
We've come across a conundrum, I believe.
I think, that's why it's less whale-like and more half and half. Because we're looking at like a hairless monkey that's evolved.
We also need a reason for it to keep its arms. Kind of.
Well...
Grappling prey?
No different than why an otter does otter things.
Well, otters do otter things because otters nest in a burrow and have to...
Right, but again,
land.
Like, maybe when they're not, or maybe they don't even really hunt people a whole lot, but what if they hunt, like, if they deal with, like, shellfish or something?
Yeah.
And so they use their hands, like, break them open with,
they
like,
have little... Oh, that could give us a way into tool use, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
So they use rocks, and they bust open clams or coral or things that exist in coral.
Yeah.
Or they hunt. I feel like they would exist in places where there's a lot of coral. Something shallow.
Wait, sorry, why coral?
Just because there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, a lot of little fish. Yeah.
And something that hands would be useful for is getting in there and grabbing something, pulling it out.
Right.
Unless it's a moray.
Okay, so don't try to pull the moray out. You stick your hand in a crack and you don't get it back.
That's a moray.
That's a moray. swims on a reef and has 2 sets of teeth. That is also a moray.
That's a moray.
I think we've accidentally come up with 2 different creatures. One for mermaids, merfolk, and one for sirens.
Yeah, and funny enough, we came into this with merfolk and sirens, so...
We said we wouldn't do any more doubles and triples.
Well, if it happens during the episode, it happens during the episode. That's fine. So, for our... I guess, since we're doing a little bit of a split, for our siren, big seabird.
I'm not quite done on the mermaids, because I like this idea now.
Right.
Sea monkeys. Sea monkeys!
Sea monkeys! Did you ever own sea monkeys as a kid?
I did.
I did too.
I did.
We left
for
them
me they were called Triassic triops.
Yeah, I got the classic sea monkey thing. But we put those things in our window.
Yeah.
And we didn't touch them. We didn't even feed them, right?
Just the sun.
Just the sun. And they lived there for years.
Nice.
They didn't die. I don't know what happened to them. I think we probably flushed them down the toilet or something.
Rest in peace. They have a civilization down there now.
Probably. Maybe I can go there and visit, get a nice little vacation home. But so for our sea monkeys,
maybe that's where the they try to lure people because they go up to the surface because they're air breathers,
right?
And they're like talking to each other. Like maybe they have little echolocation or hand signal communication, but I imagine they go up to the surface and they look at each other. And
oh, I just came up with something.
They do their little monkey
noises. I just came up with something.
Yeah?
What if the reason why they're said to be prey on sailors or whatnot is because they go up to the surface to mate?
Oh.
And so, that's a part of their mating rituals to go up to the surface and mate.
Right.
However, since people kind of look like them in a way, because I imagine they get bigger over time.
Oh no!
It's a dolphin situation.
It's a case of mistaken identity.
It's a case of, I think manatees also have a few cases like that.
Yeah, but with a manatee, it's more silly than anything else.
Unfortunately,
because I don't think they're that strong. You can just stop, go away. But no, these things. I mean, being monkeys, they're disgusting.
Yeah.
And also persistent.
Yeah.
I don't like that. But it fits our...
So instead of them going out of their way to hunt humans, it's more of a case of, y'all were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And then someone drowns by accident.
And someone
not by accident. Not by accident. Someone drowns.
Someone drowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get a folklore that comes off a creature where it's like, oh yeah, they hunt humans. Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense because a creature that only hunts people doesn't really sustain in a world of predators, especially when it comes to sailors. So It's more something that a sailor would come up upon, and that's why there's a lot of different why they would be so far out, right? Like from shore, where there are no humans.
Yeah.
Like in the case of Odysseus was sirens, and so we're going to go with sirens on that one.
Well, they were on a little rocky
alcove. Right, rocky alcove, but it wasn't super close to shore where you would expect a predator to go into their territory to hunt them.
Rocky outcroppings are great because they're hidey holes for fish.
Oh yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying, fish. Right? But if they were just hunting humans, because that's always the case, is that we're the important ones, and every creature out there is trying to hunt us. Then it comes into a territory of, well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense at a predatory level.
Not at
right?
all. However, you do get the freak instances of individuals who see humans as an easy food store. Gustav! And then just get really, really good at doing just that.
Or tigers that are just hold a grudge.
Yeah.
Malicious intelligence.
Yeah.
That know timing.
Champawat man-eater situation.
God. Beautiful.
400
Horrifying.
people.
Beautiful.
Across 2 countries.
Yeah.
400 people.
God.
One tiger. Absolute beast. Definition of a beast. But, okay. So, these, I don't imagine them being too big. Probably not more than 6 or 7 feet long. Maybe longer in leg, tail.
Tail area than, well, because, again, we did come to the territory that they have. They're long limbs, short torso.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to keep that. Long limb, short torso.
So are we doing webbing between the back limbs and tail? Kind of a reverse bat situation?
Oh, that could be the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's kind of like a wing diver suit.
Yeah. And then they still have a little bit of land mobility. and then they still have their arms free.
Yeah, they kind of walk around like you've got a tail wrapped or a towel wrapped around your legs and you're trying to walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they do a little penguin show.
It's like trying to walk in a sleeping bag. Yeah.
Okay, so that's fun. We can do that. And then I imagine since they have still that land mobility, they like maybe occasionally climb onto ships and try to steal their
really
food.
Really bad land mobility because they don't really utilize it.
Yeah, terrible.
Lot. But I mean, their arm strength would probably be pretty good. They could probably have like hooked claws.
Yeah.
For grabbing fish, right? So they're the enamel of their nails or whatnot is hooked, so they can grab onto like small fish or something, and they can't get away. That'd be fun, like a treble hook. Just grab it.
Yeah. Imagine if they hunted in packs and brought down like manatees. We're the superior mermaid look-alike.
Manatees alone. I just want to. They're like the capybara of the water world.
Yeah.
I just want to pat them on the head.
They deserve head pats.
I would hug a manatee, but I feel like I'd drown. Alas.
Go back up and then go down and hug them again.
Yeah. But yeah, mischievous. Well, yeah, mischievous. Horny.
Yeah.
Sea-dwelling monkeys.
Sea monkeys,
if you will, with a membrane that is between their legs.
Not the arms.
I think
just
but
legs.
webbed hands.
Or maybe it goes like from ankle to tail, and then like
ankle to tail.
Yeah.
Like their tail.
Yeah, their tail.
Would they still have a tail?
Maybe. I think so. They're monkeys, not apes.
Right, but I mean, apes had to come from somewhere.
It's true.
So what if they lost the tail? Because I feel like you're gaining...
I don't want to see one of these with the musculature of a chimp. I really don't.
I imagine...
Sea monkeys are fine. No sea chimps.
I feel like sea chimp is just the...
Oh, no.
It's a hairless sea chimp. That's why they're malicious. Because that's the idea that I have in my head. With hooked claw hands and weird dolphin-like breeding or mating parties. Mating rituals. Cal is making that face like
I'm making
he licked a lemon and it was ooh wee mama.
See, I'm appreciating the creature design and hating it at the same time. Because boy, oh boy, it's just right. Sea chimps.
See, it works though.
Yeah,
it works. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
All right. Well. You think that's a good place to end the speculative biology on that? You think that's a good resting plot for that?
Absolute train wreck.
Oh yeah. What about we also have your seabird.
We have the seabird, but I don't know if I want to table the seabird and come back to it.
I don't think we have. That'd be very short.
Yeah.
But we'll put a pin in the seabird siren, and we'll go with the mermaid.
We'll go with mermaids entirely for now.
Hunting it. Pretty simple.
Yeah, don't go in the water, first off, especially not during mating season.
Yeah.
And if you see one, I don't know,
spear.
Don't go close to it.
Stick a dynamite.
Just
just dynamite. It's like hunting fish, but real simple. Like
why am I blanking on what they're
harpoon.
Called? Nope. Drop them in the water and they explode. Death charges.
Depth charges. Yeah. How I deal with every sea monster that you can throw at me.
I raise you, Jormungandr.
Bigger depth charge.
No.
Jormungandr is like infinitely long.
So. No, it's just the length of Earth. Or the circumference of Earth.
That's beyond. That's fine. Nuke.
Ha.
Internal nuke. Now we've turned Jormungandr into a nuclear bomb because we're blowing up the nuke from the inside, which makes the pressure even bigger.
Oh no. Well, say goodbye to a percentage of the surface of Earth.
It wasn't about the
This is a sidetrack.
It's about sending a message. Surviving is just a luxury.
Okay.
But
maybe try to get them to follow you out of the water. I don't think
image. They will follow you out of the water because that's where they're vulnerable.
Hear me out. So I guess they're just chimps now. So they're strong enough to pull you in.
Oh, absolutely. And remember, they're wrestling things.
Imagine one of them crawling up like a pier or something and grabbing someone's legs.
Yeah,
and pulling
that's what makes them dangerous.
They're scary. Ooh.
And they got teeth on them.
They do. They have that primate bite force and the fangs.
These guys are out there wrestling freaking
reef sharks.
Okay, how do you feel about your turf war between dolphins and sea chimps now?
I think the dolphins would give them a respectful berth. They're gonna go.
Could you imagine
around.
A sea chimp just wrestling a dolphin?
I imagine that they would probably want to stick close to the bottom for the most part, so they can keep an arm on like a rock or something. Yeah. And then if a dolphin gets close to them, they like wrap around it and then try to pin it to the bottom so they can get their fangs in.
Yeah, use their claws. Real like stabby hook claws, grab onto it and ride it down.
See,
they'd probably get ganged up on by other dolphins.
Probably, but they would hard counter sharks because their claws, they can rip out gills. And they have maybe they have the brains to do it.
They probably would have the brain if we go with
especially if they're collaborative.
And malicious chimps.
Chimplicish.
Just chimp-like, just in general.
Yeah.
I feel like malicious and chimp just go hand in hand.
They do.
All right. Well,
I like this creature now, and I'm sad that we've gotten to it.
But hear me out. You get to write this creature now.
I do. Imagine what circuses would become. Bobo the sea chimp.
I don't want to think about Bobo the sea chimp.
I'm picturing them.
Imagine a chimp, but angrier and hornier,
and probably more carnivorous because there's less water. Food.
No, yeah, it'd probably be like 100% carnivorous.
Obligate carnivore.
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine on land. Don't worry about removed land mobility because they tuck their flipper legs under and just power walk with only their arms.
Oh, God.
Like Saboba.
Yeah.
Like a Doug.
Yeah.
We know our nerdy stuff.
Oh, jeez. I like this thing and it scares me.
It's growing on me so much.
Right?
By the minute. Oh, I just want to have one and see him.
I don't want to have one.
I don't want to be close to him. I just want to see him go around.
He's got malicious intelligence.
So, chimp works really well because they've got shorter hind legs. But then again, how... I'm picturing the thing of, in water, chimps will drown. So they've got to have some buoyancy. They've got to have some... I think...
Well, if it spends enough time in water, it's going to develop those fat stores.
Yeah.
Because it comes with the territory.
Yeah. So eating fatty marine mammals like manatees.
Eating fatty marine mammals. So...
I'm thinking a really thick membrane between the hind legs.
Yeah.
Like, not flying squirrel... what am I trying to say? Really thick.
Okay, so like a tail kind of deal.
Kind of.
Because that isn't that just basically implies just a tail?
Kind of, sort of. It's a big fan.
Right, yeah.
So they'd have would they be flexing with their spine? Maybe.
Well, you ever just like dolphin dive where you do this in the water?
Dolphin kicking is a way of life.
Yeah, I love it. It's a full body workout.
It is.
But but with your legs spread out with a thing between them.
They have to be real strong.
Oh, I mean,
they're probably more ripped than regular chimps.
That's horrifying. Well, in the leg department.
And in the abs. Because they're pulling all that down with the dolphin kick.
Yeah. Arms probably roughly the same. But they're more of a grabbing tool than they are anything else.
And they got claws.
Grab them and then pull them in and rip their gills out or bite their neck or whatnot and get them.
And there's a bunch of them.
What about their eyesight?
Probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Because they're hunting underwater.
Yeah.
I wonder if they can have a nictating membrane.
Probably.
Maybe.
I mean, what about other marine mammals?
Not that I know of.
Then maybe not.
Maybe not. Although, do primates? No, primates don't.
You just really like knitting membranes.
I really do. They're cool. Aesthetically, they're really cool.
Yeah.
But evolution doesn't do aesthetic unless it works.
Yeah. I think that's about it.
I think that's about it.
And it could use tools if it needed to.
It absolutely could.
It could break open clams stuff. It could break open other things.
They have a rock with an anemone on it, and they try to stick it to things, and it hurts. They've got a little baby Yateveo.
Oh, God, no!
Slash it.
They're just throwing them like hand grenades.
Oh, no.
Just stick to a face.
and because they are primates, and because, marine mammals can kind of just go in fresh water whenever they want, these guys have range. Anywhere coastal.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, which also applies to the idea that mermaids show up in a lot of different areas.
They can be in a river, they can be in a lake.
Yeah. They could be anywhere in the world, really.
Yeah. Cold water, warm water.
Yeah. They're a mammal, so
they're not picky.
Can go wherever the heck they want.
Yeah.
Just probably closer to shore than not.
Probably.
I don't see them. I'm not seeing deep water.
Because in deep water, they have to deal with orcas.
They have to deal with the big boys.
Well, orcas kind of go wherever they want. Orcas are still the undisputed top predator of the world's oceans. Let's not get it twisted. Yeah. I'm not including humans in that because humans don't count.
Humans don't exist in the food chain.
We are above the food chain.
Yep.
Until we're in a river 2 feet away from a Nile crocodile.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to leave us off.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else that we want to say?
I guess not. Check out the Instagram, the Snicker Snack TikTok. There's nothing on them.
No,
but our social media manager will be soon. Hopefully soon. Maybe we'll try to do sketches of our little creatures. Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can try and cook something up. I'm not an artist by any means, but just a general communication of.
I can sometimes art.
Yeah. Caleb's actually a great artist. I mean, you did the good one in the Basilisk episode.
Oh, where
of the little diagram.
I do diagrams.
Responsible for our cover art, which is fun logo.
It's a thing.
You're better than you give yourself credit for.
It's every artist.
That's true.
However, do we have anything else? Not really.
I don't think so. This should be up by Saturday.
Yeah.
I've said it now.
You better cook up that
now.
Story real quick.
I have it in my brain.
Oh, good.
I'm going to write it.
And then I can do the editing. Fantastic.
Yep.
Oh, man. Caleb's going to hate this.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, on that note, this has been Snicker Snack, the Snicker Snack podcast. Thank you for listening to us. It's always good to have you here.
Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble,
Apple Music,
and Google Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
Yep.
I think there's a random Indian one in there somewhere. I don't know if I actually did that.
Anywhere you get your podcasts.
Anywhere you get your podcasts, we're there.
Yeah. Check out our YouTube videos because the editing really does add.
It does.
It's a little bit unhinged.
Dude, editing Caleb is a nightmare.
He's another person.
He eats like a Tostino's pizza and he just loses his mind. It's crazy.
Everyone loses their minds.
Aside from that, yeah, if you want to follow us, good luck. We don't have anything.
Nope.
Yeah, you'll find him out in the woods. I'll be arguing with raccoons over bowling alley nachos. And that's it. Yeah. Stay
Snicker snacking.
No!
It came back.
You can't do it.
Yes, we did.
Stay Snicker snacking. Fraptious day. Kaloo Kalay. I'm turning this thing off. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.